When I was 9 years old, I went off to summer camp for the very first time. I packed a suitcase full of books. To you, this might sound antisocial, but for me, it was just a different way of being social. Camp was like a keg party without any alcohol. The counselor got us all together, told us that we were going to be learning a chant to recite every day for the rest of the summer. It went a little something like this. R-O-W-D-I-E, let's get rowdy, rowdy, rowdy. Yeah. So, for the life of me, I could not figure out why we needed to be so rowdy or why we would be spelling this word incorrectly. The first time I took a book out of my suitcase, the coolest girl in the bunk came up to me and said, "Why are you being so mellow?" Mellow, and of course, meaning the opposite of rowdy. So I put all my books away, back in their suitcase, under my bed. There they stayed for the rest of the summer. I could tell you 50 other stories just like this, where me, being my quiet, introverted self, wasn't the right way of doing things, that I needed to try to pass off as more of an extrovert. This is what most introverts do. And it's a world's loss, because we need introverts doing what they do best for creativity and leadership purposes. 1/3 to 1/2 of the world's population are introverts. That's 1 out of every 2 to 3 people that you know that are all subject to this biased thinking that's really deep and real in our society. And we start to internalize it from a very young age without even having a language for what we're doing. Now, to see the bias clearly, you have to understand what introversion is. It's different from shyness. Shyness is a fear of social judgment, where introversion is how you react to stimulation, including social. Extroverts crave large amounts of stimulation, compared to where introverts like quiet, low-key environments. To maximize our talents, we need to find the right amount of stimulation that's right for each and every one of us. Our most important institutions, like school and workplaces, are designed mostly for extroverts. And we also have this belief system right now that I call the groupthink, which holds our creativity and productivity comes from a very oddly sociable place. If you picture a typical classroom nowadays, you'll see that they do pods of desks where 4 to 5 kids are sitting in a group all facing each other. They're doing large amounts of group activities and assignments, including in subjects like math and creative writing, which you would think would be more of a solo flight of thought, where introverts, kids that are wanting to go off by themselves to do their work, is seen more of outcasts. Same is happening in the workplace. Some of our transformative leaders in history have been introverts, including Eleanor Roosevelt, Rosa Parks, and Gandhi. They all describe themselves as quiet, soft-spoken, and possibly even shy. I think at this point, it's important that I mention that I really do like extroverts. And we all fall at different points among the introvert-extrovert spectrum. Even Carl Jung, the psychologist who popularized these terms, said there's no such thing as a pure introvert or a pure extrovert. What I'm saying is that culturally, we need to find a better balance. We need to find a yin and yang between the two. This does not mean that we should stop collaborating, but it does mean that we need to understand that solitude matters and that to some, it is the air that they breathe. If you look at most of the world's major religions, you'll see that they have seekers, people who often go off into the wilderness and they have these profound epiphanies and revelations that they bring back to the community. No wilderness, no revelation. If you look at the insights of contemporary psychology, it turns out that we can't even be in a group of people without mirroring or mimicking their opinions. And the groups famously follow the most charismatic or dominant person in the room, even though there's zero correlation between the best talker and the person that has the best ideas. So now I'm going to give you 3 calls to action. 1, stop the madness for constant group work. Just stop it. I want to be clear in what I'm saying, because I deeply believe our offices should be enjoying and encouraging casual, chatty, cafe-style types interactions. You know, The kind where people come together and serendipitously have an exchange of ideas that is great. That is great. It's great for extroverts. It's great for introverts. Okay, number 2. Go to the wilderness. Be like Buddha and have your own revelation or your own epiphany. What I'm saying is that we could all stand to unplug and get inside our own heads a little more often. Number 3, take a good look at what's inside your own suitcase. For extroverts, it may be you also have a suitcase full of books, or maybe full of champagne glasses or skydiving equipment. But what I encourage you to do is get it out as often as possible and do what you love the most. We all need to see your love and joy. It encourages us to be more extroverted. Now, introverts. You being you probably have this impulse to guard very impulsively what is in your suitcase. And that's okay, but occasionally, just occasionally, I hope you will open up your suitcase and show the world what it is. The world needs you and the things that you carry with you. So, I wish you all the best and with all possible journeys and the courage to speak softly. Thank you.